Welcome everyone on the other side. This is WTF, Walk the Floors, All Things Hospitality Training. I'm Michele Kline with Kline Hospitality, and I'm here with my co-hostess, Stephanie Ledger, with First Rate Hospitality. And Stephanie, I know we have a very cool presence in the house, and we have an interesting topic. So why don't you kick us off?
Yes, absolutely. So we're so excited today on our episode to be having Kenny and Conner Ann from AllFly. And let's go right into it and saying hi to Kenny and Conner Ann. Thank you so much.
Hello.
Thanks for having us. Hi.
Yeah, so let's start off with Kenny. Kenny, if you can just give our audience a little bit of your background and your role with AllFly, and then we'll go right over into Conner Ann.
Sure. So I am Kenny. I am the COO and one of the 3 co-founders of AllFly. And at a high level, what we do is we book airfare for meetings, events, and group trips. We were founded in 2018 and happily 5 years in business, survived COVID, and now are rocking and rolling.
Awesome. And this is great too, because we've been hearing, for the past years, corporate travel, event travel, like it's going to be, we won't see until 2025. And I'm sure you're seeing it coming back in full force before anyone even predicted.
Yeah, corporate travel is our fastest growing internal business line.
Awesome. All right, Conner Ann. So tell our audience about yourself and what you do with AllFly.
Sure. I'm Conner Ann. I lead partnerships at AllFly. So I get to travel to the conferences, all these fun places, and talk to meeting planners and tell them what we do. Typically, we're in kind of an awesome space in travel because there are so many event companies and meeting planners and things like that. But on the airfare side, there definitely aren't as many. So it's fun to go talk to these people and kind of meet their needs and angle our product around that. Oh, and I host a podcast called Travel Nerds in tandem with AllFly, and that is just hosting, travel professionals, meeting planners, tour operators. We've kind of expanded. Anybody in the industry that wants to talk travel can come on to that too.
I would have to say it's amazing. I was just able to be on there.
So good.
That is so great. So maybe Kenny, if you want to address this next question, tell us a bit about why AllFly, right? Why did you go into creating this business and how is it different than what is already out there?
Sure. So the origin story is kind of interesting. It started off of me riding in a car and acting as a chauffeur for our CEO, Eric. And so we both referee Division I college basketball. And way back in 2016, we got paired up and we were doing multiple games together. And he was so busy and he was reconciling credit card statements. And so I just drove him around so he could work on his laptop in the passenger seat. And I looked over, I was like, dude, why do you have a stack of, the stack was like this. Mm-hmm. And he was just not even talking to me. So I just wanted to make conversation. I was like, what's going on here? He's like, I run a travel agency. And I was very entrepreneurial at the time too. So I just started asking a million questions. And I basically got it down where he had a successful travel agency that booked group airfare on behalf of other tour operators. So the genesis of the business and the reason why we exist and the problem that we originally solved was if you wanted to get 40, 50, 60 people on a plane and you wanted a quote, you would have to call the airlines over the phone to get pricing. Not dissimilar to the way that the hotel world works. But we thought that in these modern times, I watched a helicopter land on Mars and it blew my mind. And I was like, why am I still having to call over the phone for a quote for 22 people going to Dallas? That's crazy. So we set out to basically put that process online. And we successfully did that. We launched a product called AllFly Marketplace. and it allows you to book 50 people on a plane without the phone call. And we launched that at the end of COVID. And then what happened was people started learning, oh, you guys do group travel, and companies started contacting us and they're like, hey, I have 100 people coming from all over. Can I book with you? And we were like, well, that's not technically our use case. Our use case is 50 people together. But we had so many companies ask us that we actually ended up expanding the product portfolio, and we made a product that allows like a corporation to easily create an event and share that link, and everyone books travel on their own and shows up in Miami for their team offsite. So we found that travel often happens offline and in a really really kind of inefficient and bumpy process. So our goal is to make group travel easy and online.
That's awesome. And then for that traveling, is it domestic and international as well?
We go everywhere. We're even thinking about trying to get people into space. We just talked to someone on a podcast where they were getting a group of 8 people to space. And they were saying that the average ticket to space is $125,000. And I was like, how do I get a part of that space money? So yeah, domestic, reasonable. International, will take you anywhere that you want to go.
There are cars like, that's like the price of a nice car. I'd go to space.
Yes, for that 8 minutes.
Right, yeah.
I'll watch you guys from here. I'll take notes. So either one of you, whoever feels you can answer the question, what do you think is different? Because once again, this is a hospitality show, and I kind of want you to answer that it's the service and that connection with the people that you serve that is what makes you different than anybody else. So what is it? I kind of gave you the answer to the test.
Yeah, Conner, go ahead.
So for us, it's really like the user experience is simpler than our competitors, I'd say. So we have a couple of features that they don't offer, things like a ticket protection program. So if you have a bunch of people flying, if you have 1,000 people flying, that's a lot of tickets. It's a lot of money. If people cancel for any reason, we'll get you your money back minus $50, money back to the company. So it doesn't just like sit on the traveler's credit as an e-credit.
I love that.
Yeah. And then just like, we have a great team, super efficient. Like we're all about like ease and speed here at AllFly. And we've been seeing like pretty amazing results with people talking about how they used to use a brand and now they're using us, and they seem to have a simpler experience and more of like a human one-on-one experience. You can call your account manager and they'll talk to you on the phone if your flight got delayed or anything like that. And we're about to launch something really exciting too. Can we talk about it, Kenny?
Yeah, sure.
Should we talk about it? Okay,
go for it.
Let's do it in tandem. So we're about to launch a new product. It's called AllFly Quest, which I just love the name. Quest, it's a journey. And you're going to see our platform become more of a full service experience. So instead of just booking airfare, we're also going to be able to book like individual hotel and ground transportation as well. So a little bit of a one-stop shop in comparison.
Congratulations on that.
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
Thank you.
It's all about the experience. Stephanie, what's coming through your mind as we hear this?
No, I'm thinking also too, like just with the experience, but the convenience. So, we are seeing more of like the younger generation, or also to those that are the road warriors that are always not really right on their laptop, where they need to be able to be right on their phone and book or plans change or get sent somewhere else, and really having that convenience for them. Instead of being on hold where sometimes the call will drop, or they're sick and tired of hearing the hold music, that they're ready to just hang up anyways and just say, nope, I'm not even going.
Yeah, I think one of the things too that Michele touched on, which is what makes us different, and we were very intentional about this when forming the business, is we have a really first-class commitment to service. So what does that mean, right? A lot of people will say, we'll give you expert service, but then they outsource their service to the Philippines, right? Or they'll say like, oh, we're going to have a call time, response time. We're going to have a hold time of less than 5 minutes, and then something happens and you're on the phone for 2 hours, right? So
you talk to a bot. Ugh,
yeah.
that's the world we live in.
So we don't do any chatbots. We don't outsource any part of our service. And we're really proud to say that we don't have anybody on our staff on the account side that has not been a travel agent for less than 10 years. So now what this does is when you call us, you're talking to like a first-class travel professional. And I can say that about our entire team, top to bottom. They know the industry, they know the ins and outs. That comes with a cost. So are we the cheapest in the market? No. But you can't pay, $10,000 for a BMW or a Mercedes, right? So we're gonna match that great product experience with a really great service experience. And we're looking for that like best combined value. And so I'm super proud of our team. And we were very, very intentional because group travel is very complex. And hiring your 23-year-old that wants their first job in travel and putting them in front of $100,000 or a $300,000 client, we can't afford to do that. So we just made the decision from a very early day to basically say, we're going to invest in providing really great service because the travel industry is really about people and about trust at the end of the day. Yes. And I see you guys shaking your head, and it's just every time that we say that and every time that we share that with our team, everyone's shaking their head because they remember that time where they had a horrible experience or they got kicked around a department and they talked to a supervisor who had to get another supervisor to get another one. And then 3 hours are sucked out of your day. We don't want that. We wanted to build a different world. So we were very intentional about what we did.
I'm in love.
Oh, you don't like long hold times?
What else can I say?
Talking to a robot?
No, and it's truly all about creating that experience. We are in the industry to serve others, right? Not just the guest or whoever it is that is booking that flight or the organization, but also the people that work with us day in and day out, right? And the fact that you've made mention to that is extremely important. And a lot of people these days are looking for that social responsibility, are looking for that responsibility where they're engaging and they're connecting with the people that work within the organization. Because at the end of the day, if your people are happy, you're going to have a great product. You're going to have a great service.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Could not agree more.
Yeah, and the passion too. I mean, with you having those employees, that the longevity that they've already have in the travel industry as well, that's really great when the passion is coming over through the phone too, of saying, hey, let me see, this route, I wouldn't even take it myself. Let me try to see if I can get something else better for you, and them knowing that because they've been in the travel industry for so long. All right, so moving along, I have just a few questions too with AllFly. So if we are having, Michele and I, we have a corporation and we're going to be sending 50 people, we'll say, to Hawaii. So we're staying.
Oh man, I was going to say Bali.
Okay, we'll go Bali.
All right, let's go Bali.
That's good.
Yes. Now, with that, so for us as being the client, so would we be able to making sure of putting in those types of restrictions to making sure that the attendees that we are bringing, that they cannot be booking, say, first class of that $4,000 ticket? At the same time, we do not want them to be flying for 36 hours with so many layovers.
Of course. There are ways to filter and sort all of those kinds of things. Absolutely. And we put price caps for approval on things. So, if Stacy's trying to book that first class ticket, she can buy it, but we do split payments. So we allow for that. If, the company's covering the main cabin fare and they're still trying to upgrade, the attendee can pay that extra fare to upgrade. So they have the option too, but the company is always being informed if somebody's trying to do something crazy. But base level, we can toggle on and off things in the platform as well based on the company's needs.
That's great. And I like that too, of being able to like technically split the cost. So, okay, this is what the company is going to allot for, but I want to be bougie and pay a little bit more. And now being able to take that expense onto myself.
Yeah. It's a cool feature we have. A lot of people are like, oh, the other platforms I've used don't really allow you to do that. So that's something we've been focusing on as an AllFly thing.
That's cool. And then also too, so now like with frequent flyers, so would I still now be able to, if I'm loyal to an airline, and now being able to still maintain for my miles, depending of the class of the ticket, that, you know, we know of all of those ways to get the miles, but then also to being able to have that as well as part of AllFly.
Of course, yeah. We do not want people rioting in the streets. They can all have their loyalty miles individually.
That's great. All right, so then is there anything else that you want to be able to share with our audience that may be looking to book a group travel, or if they have a client that's going to be staying at their hotel for a big conference and now being able to recommend you for their part on the transportation side?
Yeah, so it's a good question. And we have been, our whole go-to-market is about partnerships. So we're looking to partner with meeting planners, incentive companies, and even hotels. And so we have a really cool program where if you refer us a trip and we end up going to contract and booking with them, we will actually give you a per flight booked referral fee. And for the first trip that you refer us, we will book you one free ticket anywhere in the continental United States.
We'll take you there, but we won't bring you back.
Yeah.
That may be a problem.
So free one free ticket plus the referral fee. So if you're out there and you're listening and you have a company or a group that is in need of getting a bunch of people from, you know, multiple points into a common destination, or if there's just your standard group trip and you have the eighth grade high school wants to go, eighth grade high school, oh my God, the eighth grade middle school class trip to Washington, D.C. or to Orlando, Florida, you can let us know that one too. And we can take care of wherever your group wants to go. We can help you get there.
That's great. I have a quick question before we move on to the most important piece of this show. There is a little bit of a general concern about how the industry is coming back. And that obviously is tied into travel and who is the traveler that is really coming back full swing, right? Not only are we facing some issues or challenges with a chunk of our workforce that was forced to retire early during 2020. So now we are lacking pilots and the whole debacle of some of those airlines that are having some difficulties keeping up with the demand. But beyond that, from a hospitality standpoint, there are many conversations happening where we don't know at hotels if we are bringing the business traveler back as fast as we were hoping for, right? We see a lot of leisure travel and a lot of organizations that, as they go through their reductions in personnel, they also have to look at some of those expenses. And obviously 2020 has pushed us all to learn how to operate in an efficient way in a virtual setting. So what do you think, based on your research and what is trending and what you're seeing out there, is the next 6 months to 12 months going to look like from a travel standpoint when it comes to business? Because obviously, although we love our leisure travelers or our leisure guests, business travelers are very easy to our products. They are smooth and they come in, they take a shower, they leave. It's different. So what do you think?
Yeah, so I can take this one. So we've been seeing two trends. In 2022, we saw travel as a free-for-all. So we did a lot of corporate trips where when we were working with our clients and setting up travel policy, there was no budget. It was just like whatever people want to do, we're back traveling and go nuts. And then in the course of the past 3 months, and really it's just been a change in the last 3 or 4 months or so. And now what we're seeing is there's still the frequency of trips is still high, but there's more of a watchful eye on the budgets. So we're actually building more features into the product of different ways that people on the administrative level of the company can control and watch the budget. Because that's one of the biggest things that has been changing is travel is expensive. It is going to get more expensive in the short term. So in the next 6 months to 18 months, 24 months, I expect room nights to stay high. I expect plane tickets to stay high. American Airlines just approved a crazy increase for paying their pilots. Delta is going to follow suit.
Same thing. I think it was actually kicked off by Delta. That's crazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think pilots are demanding more pay. I think that will trickle down across travel in general. I know on the hotel side, a lot of people in the group sales departments were laid off, and those jobs were slow to come back. And I think that people are going to demand to be paid more to work and travel. And I think that'll keep prices high. And then what I anticipate in the long run is it'll start to even out, especially with automation and AI. AI is going to touch the travel industry. And so the employee may earn more in the short term, but there could be long-term pressure on their jobs or the amount of jobs that are out there, because I think that AI is coming for a lot of positions inside of travel too.
Very insightful. Thank you for that, Kenny. So shall we?
Yeah.
We shall.
All right, so let's start with Conner Ann. Where is your mouth-opening WTF moment where you felt, you know what? If management would have been out there, this should have never happened?
Yes. Okay. Mine's not from a traveling for work perspective, but when I thought of a travel mishap, there is one monstrous one in my life.
Fair enough.
So this was me going to Australia. Very long flight. I'm traveling from Florida. It's 27 hours from my driveway to where I'm going. And it's through Dallas, then LA, then Fiji, then to Sydney. And I get to Fiji. I'm sitting there, I'm looking at my phone. I'm on my email. My flight got canceled. I'm like, okay, that's okay. It'll get rebooked. No big deal. I'm sitting there waiting for my bag to, get off the plane because I have everything in my bag. Huge rookie mistake. Always keep your toiletries on your person, anything important. So I didn't have anything. I had my purse, my phone, my headphones, a granola bar. That's it. And I'm sitting in Fiji. My flight is not getting rebooked. So I was like, okay, I'll spend the next day in Fiji. So I'm there. I go to try and stay at an Airbnb because I didn't want to pay for a hotel. Also a rookie move. If you've never been there before, stay in a hotel just for the safety and cognizance of where you are and what to do. So I'm in an Airbnb. I am trying to figure out what to do. So I decide I'm going to go to the beach. I hop in the car. I still don't have anything. I look down at my leg and there's a leaf on my leg. I'm like, oh, Fiji, so lush here. I go down to get the leaf off of my leg and it is a leech. It is a leech the size of, I don't even know, a small potato on my leg. It has been sucking my leg for so long that it is now this big. And I start screaming. My Uber driver doesn't know what I'm saying. So he drops me off. He just drops me off. So
Get rid of her.
So now I'm with a leech on my leg alone. My phone dings. I look down. My flight gets rebooked. I'm just screaming in the middle of the street, trying to get this thing off my leg. And then I have to go to the airport. The leech got removed eventually. I go to the airport. I get to Sydney. I hop into another Uber to go to my girlfriend's house, finally, bagless still. And I look down at my leg in the next Uber, and there's a leech on me again. Yeah, the story doesn't have to do much with travel management. It's just leech management, because I just had this horrible, horrible experience with not really being able to get any of my things. So now I'm in Australia, a little less blood because leeches have been sabotaging me for days now. And I get there with nothing, and I ended up staying for 3 weeks. And I spent a bunch of money replenishing my things, and I went to Byron Bay the next day and had another leech incident. So just look out for that side of the world and leeches. And book a good airline is the travel management thing I would say about this. Book yourself on a good airline in a nice seat. You think you want to do it the cheap way. Don't, because my flight would not have gotten canceled, or it would have gotten rebooked. Just don't travel the cheapest way. I used to be the girl that put the backpack on and sat by the bathroom in the back, and you're just never going to get the perks that you need in order to get where you're going without making your life really hard.
Well, welcome to maturity.
Hey,
Right?
he's a grown up now.
I'm telling you, it's the best age ever. All right, Kenny,
Wow.
what about you? What's your moment?
All right, mine, I'm going to take you back to 2015. It was in Nashville. I was checking in kind of late, maybe like 11 o'clock, and someone at the front desk kind of screwed up. And because of that, I'll never buy or wear polka dot socks ever again.
He said kind of, right? So wait for it. Usually when they start with a kind of, it's like really, really bad.
Yeah, it's a kind of screw up because it's maybe a fireable offense. I'm not a hotel person, but it definitely gave me a story that I'll remember forever. And every time that I'm shopping now and I see polka dot socks, I just think of this and I'm scarred. So anyway, it was late. I checked in, I'm going up to the third floor. I open my room, and you know how like hotel rooms are famous for being kind of like the sound just eats through the wall. And anyway, I open my door and I hear like some weird like grumbling, like someone's having a tough time. And I don't know. I just thought it was like next door, right? And I turn the corner and I just see like a man sitting on the bed, and he has on polka dot socks. And then I get a little bit closer, and there's also 2 women on the bed that are like 30 years younger than him. And everyone pops up. I'm horrified. I paused for 1 second just to get this snapshot because I needed to just soak it all in for a second because no one would believe me. I turned and I booked it. And I went back downstairs and I was like, good sir, at check-in, you may need to give me another room because 303, that room is more than full. It is taken.
Yeah.
And
And there's actually 3.
It was, So that was my moment where I was like, I've never been given upon check-in the key card to another room. It's only happened one time to me. And hopefully it never happens again.
Yeah.
Because those socks are just burnt into my memory.
Was he wearing only polka dot socks?
Is this a PG podcast? Yes. It was just polka dot socks.
Oh no. Should have put one on the door,
He should have done something, but I felt so bad. I was like, this guy's just, who knows why he's there. I've made up 100 stories over the year about this guy, but it looked like he was having a fantastic time. No passing judgment. It's just not a great travel moment. I didn't even go to sleep for hours. Like I was like sitting, because then I thought, well, if I can walk in on someone, who's to say that this guy at the front desk isn't just doing this, or it's his first time on the job? So I eventually fell back to sleep.
Or Kenny, you want me to tell you something worse? This is the kind of stuff Stephanie and I get to find out as we go through our emotions year over year. What if he was a team member?
Oh.
They know the room is vacant. right? They just
Like
didn't
White
change the
Lotus.
status because that team member
Yeah.
doesn't have access to changing the status,
Oh
right?
no.
So now you're narrowing it down. It just gets worse. Great
Oh,
Yeah.
story. I am so
interesting.
sorry you can't deal with
Yeah.
polka dots anymore.
Every time I saw him, so we do a bunch of like conferences and events and stuff, and I've lost a little weight, so I've had to do a little bit of shopping. Not complaining there, but I was buying some new clothes, and I just saw a wall of the socks, and
Oh.
I like turned white, and my wife was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like,
Oh no.
just
PTSD.
it's taken me back to Tennessee. I just and she knows I think I was probably just dating her at the time, and I called her and I was like, "You're not even going to believe this, but whatever, I'm going to tell you the story." But I just saw this old guy, and
Yeah.
I saw him.
Yeah, it must be that area because believe it or not, I was on a leisure trip actually, and it was for a wedding and it was outside of Nashville, and the same thing happened to me. I didn't walk in on them, but I did hear them, and knowing with the hospitality background, I was like, I'm just gonna knock first to making sure it's this my room and not, oh, I'm not overhearing it from another room. But coincidentally, it was right outside of Nashville, of the same thing of just given a room key for an occupied room, and then you go back and they're like, oh, sorry. But then it's just like, do you realize like I'm a solo female traveler, and you as well, of just like, this isn't what you're paying for. And then just the response about it is, they don't care.
have you guys seen those solo female traveler tales that have been happening in LA where these women are like, I've had someone knock on my door and they tell me that my car is going to be towed. And they're like, I don't have a car here. And they don't open the door. And the person keeps trying to come back because they're trying to take that. Traveling solo as a female. It's scary these days.
Yep. No, there's definitely a lot of awareness, more than if you are a male traveler. But yeah, it's definitely crazy. Or even just other things of like in-room dining, of calling, it's another way that they'll try to get you for your credit card or something like that. But
it is scary.
nuts.
And they don't let me travel with my taser either.
Oh man, Michele, do you have anything related to corporate travel or traveling?
Not that I can think of right now. What I would say is let's just end it on a positive note, and everybody think of polka dot socks.
That sucks,
Here's
man.
the other thing. I'm from Las Vegas. I'm okay with what happens in Nashville stays in Nashville. I mean, we're trying to get rid of that tagline anyway. So Nashville, you can take it.
We're keeping it there for sure.
Wait, Vegas is trying to get rid of what happens in Vegas
little bit,
stays in
a
Vegas?
little
No
bit.
way.
We're
Really?
We're trying to transform. We're trying to evolve.
Oh no, you got to stay Vegas, baby. Come on.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. This was enlightening, and not just that, it was also fun. Thanks, Kenny. You literally and you too, Conner Ann, and your leeches. So stay away from leeches. Don't be scared of polka dot socks, and we will meet you on our next episode.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.